Hello and welcome to Channel Sports on Sunday. I'm Ken Ochonogo. Stay safe, stay safe, stay safe, stay alive, and save yourself and save the world. It is easy a little bit on this part. They say we can move around a little bit, but then with freedom comes responsibility. How you manage it is what it's all about. That you're asked to move around does not mean you should not maintain what our athletes they are asking us to do. That is what the world say we should do. Maintain social distance. In fact, that is the only confirmed cure for COVID-19 because there is a limit to which it can travel. It can only move when human beings move. It has no legs, it has no wings, it cannot swim. So if you are where you are, you don't give and you don't receive. So I think that is what we should try to imbibe. Keep our social distancing. When we touch surfaces, we wash our hands. And that's why they say your hands touching your face because your hand, one of your elbow can touch something else. But we'll try as much as possible because when you open the doorknobs, somebody else will have touched it and it's contaminated. So what do? I say wash your hands. So I think these are the basic survival points, maybe 3 or 4 points for us to survive this, and they are just basic, nothing much to it. I do pray and hope that we shall do that we should keep alive, and then sport is coming back. I'm excited. Of course, the excitement of having it, like I said, is also that, with trepidation, you are looking at it to say, what happens? What happens? Let me just give you this instant before I come to my guys, and then we'll move over there. I mean, we're talking about this proverbial cat with 9 lives. I tell you, there is a footballer with 13 lives because if you add that 9 lives to the 4 times he has tested positive to COVID-19 in 6 weeks, then you know that, yes, Paulo Dybala has 13 lives. In 6 weeks, the guy has tested positive 4 times to COVID-19. But right now, he has tested negative. So if he goes, we're talking about the 14th life. But he has 13 lives now. He has been and counting. We're going to look at that. I suppose to be the Channels Kid Up season 12 now would have been on. By now, would have been, in hyping you. You've seen the kids coming from all over the world. But then as it is, we just have to, lie low and hope that probably we might have maybe some 2 or 3 months later, if everything is fine, probably we can come to you and ask our kids to come and be part of that festival of football, for the under 13 level kids in primary schools in Lagos, in Nigeria, and West African sub-region. So we'll give you some teasers of how the past events have been on this particular show. But like we said, our leagues are opening. I will give you the timetable of how each country says this is where we are going to go. But for the big guns, only one of them now, the German Bundesliga, I said, look, we are starting on the 16th. But then the Italian people said, go, we just talk about Paulo Dybala, but the Italian league, the Serie A said, look, you can start training. The EPL, man, that is a new ball game entirely because I think we want to use neutral ground and we have the battle between the top 6 and the bottom 6. How? What is their opinion? And then you go to Spain, where Barcelona, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, the players are coming, back there. But in that particular one, there is also rules of what to do. We'll let you know because although is that you can have 12 guys right there on the pitch, but only 6 can train at a time. The coach must stay 4 meters away from them. And when you finish, leave the shower. Don't go and use the shower. Don't try it. Enter your car and go to your house to go and take your bath. Maybe 3 tests within 15 days. A lot of things are going on. We shall look at the Formula 1. When are they going to come back? Some boxing events also. The UFC, some of testing positive when they're included in a fight that is supposed to take place. But then as it is now, we are still happy. We'll say talking sport. We're still giving you the best. And we shall also look at the sport industry. The sport industry. Do we have one in Nigeria? How do you survive if you take sport as a career? I have, he's back, the Catalan, we call him, the young one in the house, Theophilus Agbonlao. Theo, you're welcome to the show.
Yeah, good afternoon, Ken. Good afternoon, Nigeria. It's good to be back on set. And you forgot to mention Assistant Oshoala and FC Barcelona.
Yeah, of course.
Have been crowned the champions.
It is meant for you to tell us.
With the league guy, Baradola, they had gone unbeaten so far. They were actually aiming to go unbeaten throughout the course of the season. Yeah. But they have been in a very emphatic form, and so far they've been crowned champions of the Spanish female league. You talked about Paulo Dybala. Yes, 4 times in 6 weeks, Ken. Even at a point, I was like, okay, what happens when he gets cured? What happens when he's finally cleared? He's no longer, he doesn't have symptoms anymore. Does he go out and party? So basically, it shows that this thing is serious and it's affected a lot of lives. A lot of people have lost their lives in the process, even one of people that I know personally. So I think I'm in a very, very strong position to talk. Please stay at home. If you don't have anywhere to go to, you coming out, you're seeing people on the road, not even observing the social distancing measures that the state government and the federal government have put in place. You begin to wonder, like, what is happening with Nigerians? But then again, we understand how it has affected a lot of lives.
Yeah.
And we're hoping that moving forward, things will return back to normal. But at the same time, like you said, basic humans nature that we should actually just observe, washing your hands, cleaning your face, not touching, and basically just being very, very neat as individuals. I think we should all maintain this, and hopefully all this shall pass as well.
All this shall pass. Yeah. Obum is still in the house.
Good afternoon, Ken.
Yeah.
Crucial meeting holding tomorrow in England.
Yes.
The clubs are coming together to have a video conference to decide on the way forward.
What video conferences?
But why didn't I play video football?
No, they did.
I've got a virtual.
Decide on what best to do with the league this season.
Yes.
How best to go about it. Some clubs are protesting playing on neutral, especially the clubs that are in relegation dogfight. They're protesting that they want football being played in their stadium. That some feel it gives them an extra boost when they play against opposition. So it's a very serious matter. But down to the ballot, an amazing one there, Ken. And I still want to commend the efforts of the Lagos State government because they've done so well. And Nigerians, like you rightly pointed out, they should stay safe. The videos we see over the internet is not encouraging.
It's not at all.
And I love the fact that Governor Sanwo-Olu came out yesterday fighting hard, declaring that he might put Lagos on lockdown if citizens doesn't behave, because when people are released and they don't do the right thing, it makes a mess of everything.
Of all the sacrifices you've done before.
The sacrifice of the 6 weeks lockdown, with the way we're going about it in Lagos now, it's going to make a mess of that lockdown. So I think something drastic needs to be done, because let's tell ourselves the truth. What people are doing out there will actually lead to disaster if care is not taken.
Okay, if care is not taken, it is that care that we are talking about here. Obum says if care is not taken, we might go back to square one. But it is that care we are saying, yes, let us take that care so that at least the sacrifices, I mean, there is that line in our national anthem. Yeah. The labor of our heroes past shall not go in vain. Yeah. So our sacrifices in the past 6 weeks should not go in vain. And that is what he's talking about here. I just maintain discipline. Like I said, with freedom comes responsibility. But right now, we want to talk about the sport industry. We want to talk about where this is our industry. Do we have one? And then if we have one, at what state are we in? If not, what should we be doing? And then who best to do that than the guy that, anytime, we talk with him, anytime he comes here, I tell you this, because sometimes some do the talk and some do the work. He does the talk and does the work. And then that's why you have the result. We have the CEO of Making of Champions, Mr. Bambo Akoni, right there. He's in Lagos, but he's not in the studio. He's practicing social distancing. Hello, Bambo.
Hello, Ken. How are you doing? Thank you for having me as always. I wanted to, as you said, my staff at home, my athletes at home, so I thought I should lead by example and stay at home for now.
Yes, I know you. I don't want to tell you that you threatened me when I said we should come down here. But then it is good to have you there and that thing. Okay, let's look at it. You are one man who belongs to the grassroots, who believes that yes, things need to be done, and that is what you're doing. And then we all are acknowledging that. But then in this era, first and foremost, let's look at it. How are your athletes? How are athletes are surviving within this COVID-19 period?
Well, thanks for asking, Ken. It's obviously been very difficult. I came back into Nigeria about 5 days before the National Sports Festival was meant to hold.
It's freezing. Okay. All right. We'll try and get back to Bambo the moment this thing is before when it's true. We'll get back to him, and then I think he's trying to come back. When we get him straight, he will come back straight, and the interview will continue. Because apart from this, we want to also leverage on some of his experiences, personal experiences that he has gone through this period. All right. While we're waiting for Bambo to reconnect with Bambo, let's look at the China's Kids Cup. This is your cup.
Yeah, my cup.
No, I'm not saying you're a kid, but I'm only saying this is your cup.
You've been hitting me lately. You get to wonder. Okay, fine. Oh yeah, the China's International Kids Cup. Actively got involved about 5 years ago. Yeah. I wasn't around last year, but over the course of the 4 years I was there, I was actively involved running commentaries and I saw the passion, and most importantly, I saw the vision of the chairman of the channel's television, Mr. Jomomo, and are you seeing that he wants to make these children actually, okay, I think...
All right, I think we are told that Bambo is back. Okay. Hello, Bambo. All right, let's go. Let's continue.
Hello, Ken, yes.
Yes, okay.
Yes. Yeah, thank you. So as I was saying, we were all set for the National Sports Festival. As you know, it didn't happen. And I think about 15 of my athletes were set to compete there. That didn't happen. We took the difficult decision about 4 to 5 weeks ago to send them home just before the lockdown was announced. We thought it was important for them to be with their families. So they're with their families at the moment, and we are monitoring their progress. They're all training from home. This is the age of palliatives. I think we've learned a new word in this period, and
yes.
Right from the top, what has a relief fund. The minister also has a relief fund for athletes in Nigeria. And we've also had to launch our own little relief fund for our athletes at MOC to keep them going while they're at home. It's not been easy, but we're all having to come together as a club and as a nation to try to keep the wheels on so that they have, they don't lose it all before they have to come back for the Olympics and the other competitions next year.
Okay, all right. It's good to know, because I know you were monitoring them and their coaches too, but giving them some exercise workouts to do for them to keep fit. But then let's come back to the nitty gritty. You went to Jamaica. You went to Jamaica with Enefe Okudobong, the most decorated Nigerian Olympian. If I may ask you this, why Jamaica?
I mean, Jamaica is the home of sprinting, as we know. It's the Jamaicans have shown us in the last 15 to 20 years how much they've taken a hold of their sprinting program and really become the best sprinters in the world, the men especially, but also the women. So that was back in 2013. I just started shooting Making of Champions, the history, which is really the film that inspired what we're doing now. And obviously, Enefe Okudobong, being Nigeria's only male double Olympic medalist, he came with us to Jamaica during the secondary school championships to see what it was all about. And, it was a very fascinating journey. We were like celebrities in Jamaica for that 1 week we were there, just to show you how much they respect Olympians. The moment they knew that the Nigerians were here with an Olympian, a double Olympic medalist. We were on the morning show on TV Jamaica the next day, we were on radio the whole week. Nigerians in Jamaica were stopping us everywhere, telling us well done for what we're doing. So it was refreshing. It was the journey that really gave us the conviction that, somebody needs to do this in Nigeria. We have 70 times the population, and the Jamaicans are all descended from West Africa, I like to joke that a third of them are Igbo, So it was a journey that really kicked off Making of Champions and set us on the path to where we are today.
Okay, I want to ask you this, because maybe we look at those visuals. Were you stunned at what you saw? You're talking about secondary school championship, and you say packed stadia watching athletics in Jamaica.
Yeah, we must realize this is like a 100-year culture in Jamaica. The National Stadium is sold out every year for 5 days to watch their secondary school kids run. And I've been to many Super Eagles matches in Nigeria, and it's not as well attended. I think the closest we got to this in Nigeria was actually the African Championships in Asaba that was sold out for the 5 days. And that was great, but that was the best athletes in Africa, the elites. This is the secondary school children that nobody outside Jamaica has heard of yet. In their 100-year history, one of the most successful schools there is Calabar High School, named after Calabar in Nigeria, of course, because that was the port that a lot of slaves were taken to Jamaica. And it just shows you the rich history that Jamaica has in track and field. Despite the 100 years plus of champs, really only in the last 20 years did they start beating the Americans and the Brits and the Canadians. And that's because they took a hold of their athletics themselves, started training the athletes at the universities, in professional track clubs. These are models that we've taken at Making of Champions, and we've tried to adapt for Nigeria. And, within 4 years of training athletes in Nigeria, I would say the model is really working. We've won over 50 medals, national and international athletes. About 7 of them are in the University of Lagos right now. And we're really building a model that, is the only way for sustained long-term success in athletics and across all sports. When you think about the developmental years and that happening through secondary school and university.
Okay, I'm thrilled that you say, okay, fine, you're not just say, okay, you won about 50 medals. I'm not at the medals are okay, but that is not the crux to me. You have kids who are in the universities, and that is where we are here now. Because one is, how do athletes? Because our universities, we're talking about, if we go back way then, the Onyalis, the Egbunikes, the Chidimos, even a lot of them schooled at universities abroad when they got scholarships. And then our Nigerian universities are here and they go to scholarships over there. But that is part one, getting sponsorship. Part two, yourself and Annie were seen as superstars in Jamaica. Annie can walk the street in Sulere and how many people recognize him? Yeah, how can a Nigerian as an athlete, can he take athletics as a career and be able to feed himself and take care of his family and be a superstar like you are seeing the Jamaicans?
Well, I think as you rightly pointed out, this is sort of a case of a prophet perhaps not being honored in his own home, and that pertains to athletics for Nigeria, because I think we've forgotten our potential in the sport. We've forgotten, how we used to win Olympic medals in the 80s and the 90s. We've forgotten how the foreign-based athletes used to come back for the national trials and people used to rush to meet them at the airport. We've forgotten all of that, and meanwhile in Jamaica, they have that history. They honor their greats, So it's, in terms of following athletics as a career in Nigeria, it was tough even before this pandemic. It's going to be very much more difficult now, In fact, when we talk about athletics careers or athletics industries, it's still very much in its infancy in Nigeria. We're talking about, the fact that most athletes at University of Nigeria, even the top athletes in the country, don't have full support, don't have full scholarships. If you go to the US or the UK, there's going to be hundreds of athletes at any point in time that have full ride scholarships. Jamaica, they did the same thing, back in 1999, that's when they launched MVP Track Club that produced the likes of Asapa Powell and Shelley and Fraser Price. And what they did then was very simple. They went to University of Technology in Kingston.
Okay. The interview is still on. It just frozen for a minute, but the interview is still on. We're not leaving this yet. Theo, you were talking about the Kids Cup. Yeah. This is May. By now, March Madness will have also ended. Yes. Before coming to the studio, we looked at a few things. I will find out that March Madness, the secondary, the school kids in America playing basketball, that it crossed its $1 billion mark. The $1 billion. We're not talking about football is our passion. Yes. Our league is our own MPFL and stuff like that. We talk about that. We still can't pay our, we still need government money to pay them salary. Yes. Schools, basketball in America making over $1 billion. Yeah. How do you see? We've got the Kids Cup. This is season 12. Privately sponsored and other things. Yeah. Do you see us getting there where sports people can? Secondary school students are earning. Their parents they get them or whatever it is. Where you can say because you are doing sport, you can be a professional.
Of course, why not? It's very, very possible. I was looking at the story of Sadio Mane when he coming up and he said something. He said growing up as a child, his mom always told him that you have to look for something else to do with your life. I don't really see you making a career out of this. And then he told his mom, he said, this is the only thing I know how to do, and I have to keep at this. And I believe that with this, I'll be able to feed not just my family, but I can feed my community at large. And so far, that's what he's been able to do at the moment. So why not? You see these children coming for the Kids Cup, they are very passionate. These people, they really want to play football. They come on the pitch and you just see them running around. And we can actually work on this passion, the fire, the zeal, the desire right over there. And with this, that with the platform that channels has provided, and let's not forget, humble beginnings from season 1. I hear you talk about it all the time, how things are done in the offices and how you had to get some stadiums to play and everything. But right now, you can take the children and they will take them to a full stadium where they get to play behind fans that come out to support them and cheer them on. So of course, why not? Moving down the line, we can actually cross that $1 billion mark. It's possible.
All right, yeah. we can cross that 1 billion. They said the journey of a million steps. They're taking down the first step.
Yeah.
We want to go on a very short break. When we come back, our boom is in the house. Other boys in the house. Channel Sport on Sunday continues. We might just open the lines too. Okay, you're welcome back. Let's see if we still have Bambo right there so that we can just move on. Hello, Bambo, are you still there?
I'm still right here. Still right here. Back again.
Before it froze at the last minute before we went on break. But then let's take it off from there. The Olympics has just been postponed, and at 2021, what do you see? Do you see a better 2021, or what the athletes? What scenario do you see as we push this in 12 months ahead?
Well, I think, first of all, we've got to hope that the Olympics will still go ahead next year. It really depends on how the world handles this pandemic, whether we're going to be out of the woods by this time next year, whether there's going to be a vaccine, because that will largely dictate whether we're still going to be in a pandemic or whether the cases next year are going to be enough to threaten the Olympics. So that's something that we must keep in mind. And it's really tragic to think that it probably can't be postponed again. But I want to believe that the world, as a human race, we have what it takes to get the coronavirus under control before next year. I'd be looking at the 1918 Spanish flu. Okay. That took a couple of years, but we're in a much better, more technologically advanced society now. I think we can put it under control before then. But in terms of who does it work against, the Olympics being postponed for a year is a disadvantage for some people, and it's an advantage for some. If you think about the athletes who are at the tail end of their careers, the likes of Shelley-Ann Fraser-Price, the likes of Asafa Powell, who is still going for hundreds of tens. The 1-year delay is probably a disadvantage. But it's an advantage for some athletes who are, at the recovering from injury, people like Wade Van Niekerk. And then for Nigeria, we need to see the postponement as a huge opportunity to get ourselves in order, to actually prepare for the next 15 months the way that we haven't really prepared for the last 4 years. It's a huge get out of jail free card that Nigeria has to take advantage of. Where are our best medal hopes? Are they getting the support they need for the next 1 year? So those are some of the areas which I think as a nation we need to look at and say, this Olympics 2020, we were hoping for 1 or 2 medals already. But this postponement, can we come together as a nation and say, look, for the pride of this nation and for coming out of this pandemic to show the victory of conquering this virus, I think the Olympics next year could be very, very important for Nigeria.
Okay, one last question, and this is very key to me. Government cannot employ every athlete in Nigeria because, from the council to whatever, and they need, like I said, they need to make a living and make a career out of this. You've been able to successfully, I would say not, I know with so much, with a lot of hard work, able to get sponsors for your athletes in the university. But how do the corporate bodies come into this? How do the corporate bodies come to support athletes so that they were able to say this is what we are doing, this is what we are earning if they are not in the employ of government?
So I think sponsorships are clearly the life force of sports. It's what will hold up the sports industry anywhere in the world. And, I think sports, athlete sponsorships, team sponsorships were not really even enough before the pandemic. Some brands are interested in supporting these athletes who could do the nation proud. But there's a huge skew in Nigeria. Sports sponsorships, 90% of them are in football. Some are developmental, some are, supporting the national teams. But, in terms of really looking at the Olympics next year and figuring out how can Nigeria and the brands, corporates really make the most out of that opportunity, you have to look at it. 25 Olympic medals in history for Nigeria, 13 were in track and field, 8 were in the relays, right? So our track and field athletes, our relay athletes, they really need to be supported because that's where Nigeria can win 5 medals at the Olympics next year if some, really interested corporates get together and really figure out how to support these athletes at their point of need. These athletes who are training all over the country in their homes without the best support, with palliatives that will only keep them going for the next 1 or 2 months. Now is the time for corporates in Nigeria to rally around these athletes across all the sports. It's not just athletics. We have medal contenders in wrestling. We have medal contenders in table tennis and other sports. Basketball, both men and women's teams are doing great. Now is the time for corporates in Nigeria to rally around Nigerian athletes and then show them that, as a nation, they matter to us. And really, the sports industry in this country really has a place that can be better than it was before this pandemic started.
Okay, I think we'll leave it here. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. And I do hope that we'll get into the studio when the travel restriction, before they lift the restrictions for travel, so that we can capture you here and we can do part 2 of the show. Thank you, Bambo.
Thank you for having me as always. All the best.
All right. Gentlemen, you had him. It's difficult enough. Like I said, I picture it every day. And I said, you want to run in Nigeria. You want to jump in Nigeria. You want to throw in Nigeria. I mean, even those who are making it to the Golden Leagues and other things, how much do they make? But if you're in this country, they're waiting for maybe sport festival. If you win a goal, you have 1 million. And you 3 people only get money from 100 meters, 3 people in 200 meters, 3 athletes in 4. So the rest, what happens to them? How do they survive? How many can the sport councils absorb? How many? I mean, so is there hope? Is there hope for sportsmen in this country?
One thing that is alarming
in
Nigerian sports for me today is I can remember when I was a lot younger. I remember Mobi sponsoring track and field. He made mention that 90% of the sponsorship goes to football. Even now. The football, where are the sponsors? They are struggling left, right, and center. You couldn't really see any sports department that has actually differentiated itself in terms of sponsorship, getting people to come and partner with them and to get things. So every department is struggling. Something is amiss. Then we had Mobi, we had some of these big companies.
Pepsi,
what's changed? We need to go back to the drawing board and look at our strategy. This sports department, you need to look at their strategy. And sometimes, I think why most of this, this is my personal opinion, I think why most of this company went back because the personal interest of the leadership of these associations comes in the way between them and the sponsor. And serious companies, when there's conflict of interest, they pull back because they don't want their name in scandal. I think at some point we start missing it because once personal interest comes in, those companies start running them. We should go back and look at the drawing board. What can we do to change this narrative? Because we can't keep going like our athletes are suffering. Some of them that had gone to the heights of their career, went there with their personal money, and some people
and at the end of the day,
supporting them. At the end of the day,
you cannot end.
You cannot even. And when you start begging for arms to treat yourself in old age.
Okay, Yemi, even the football itself, you go back. You were very close with ICC. It is a company, even if it is state-owned. Bendel Insurance is a company. In fact, there was a Bendel Insurance for Bendel State. You understand? Mandela's Lions. You understand? Leventis, Tigers. Stores. From the AG Leventis. A lot of all these clubs. Some of them also have both basketball, the Grasshoppers. And a lot of them are coming. But how come now? Is it the business and the business terrain, the economy that is no longer so that even that companies can no longer own clubs, whether it is football club, athletics club, or whatever, and then sustain this where they can earn because they're no longer earning. Police was earning. The police machine team, even the police were employing people to come and play football and be paying them. You understand?
Good afternoon, Ken. Good afternoon, Vias. Good to be here. Ken, you see, you cannot totally separate the sport industry in Nigeria from the larger Nigerian society. You can already see where we are with respect to Nigerian society, the state of infrastructure, which industry actually works. Which industry will you say works well? The health industry is nothing to write home about. Are we where we're supposed to be? No. So sport is an integral part of it. And people keep talking about sponsorship. You had mentioned the likes of Leventis, teams, corporations owning teams. When they own teams, they expect value back. But if you're pumping in money somewhere and you don't get value, you would not be willing to continue. And let me use the Channel Skills Cup model as an example. When the idea came from the visionary himself about having a football competition for under 13, we looked at, okay, what were the issues with grassroots football in Nigeria? H-cheat.
Exactly.
How are we going to address this? A plan was, a strategy was put in place. We want children in school. You remember a particular screening where we had the children who had the same birth certificate sequence after each other.
Yes.
So Obum Osigwe was born in 1982 as a birth certificate number 801. Ken Ochonogo from a totally different family was born in a place, certificate number 802. So it was easy to fish those kind of things out. So we've really gone so deep to the extent that we need a lot of changes, mindset change, orientation, from top to bottom, from bottom up. And Channel Skills Up is in what year now?
Season 12.
Season 12.
Yeah.
I can say if channels had been giving money to another, probably just the FE or the government, we won't be where we are.
Exactly. I get
how
you.
Is channel, how will be able to get them sponsors? Because they know that whatever they are putting in there, they're getting value.
Credibility.
You can see the focus, the attention on the welfare of the kids.
Yeah.
We bring in kids from Kaduna, even from West Africa now, Ghana, and they are well taken care of, well kitted. You see secondary school football games being sponsored by government. The athletes are supposed to get their own boot, get their own jerseys that don't match. Nobody is there to take care of their welfare. So when companies know that if I put in my money here, I'm not going to get value, I will never put in my money there. Accountability is key. And then we always say, we need men who will use their pocket to develop sport, not the other way around. And that's what the case of our administrators in Nigeria has always been.
All right, the lines are open. I was told, I'm being told that yes, the lines are open. You can be part of this show. But then let's take a trip because we said football is opening. Let's see the timeline because the Bundesliga said everybody was waiting for the time that they were waiting for Bundesliga, and one Bundesliga said we are starting May 16. Hooray! Here we go. I mean, they said everybody now started giving a timetable. Yeah, would you guys take that?
So football returns, yes. I'm sure a lot of people are excited, but yes, we are very...
The Bundesliga is May 16th. May 16th, not 6th. May 6th, not 6th, May 16th.
May 16th,
yeah.
Football in Hungary will commence on... training, technically, yes. Yeah. They will start on the 23rd of May.
The league will start on the 20th. The league and the cup, yes.
The cup will start on the 23rd of May.
Yes.
And the Czech Republic is the 25th of May. It will also start on the 30th of May in Croatia, Israel, Portugal, and Serbia. On the 5th of June will be the turn of Bulgaria. Next season also starts on the 25th.
They already named next season.
Yeah. Absolutely. Then on the 8th of June, it will be the turn of Switzerland and England. That's project will start, which is still not there.
That is the question mark there. That's the question mark.
The meeting is supposed to happen tomorrow.
Yes.
Is not to vote on when.
On neutral ground.
And the government is saying, yes, you don't also have a green light to start yet.
Yeah.
We're still considering a lot of things.
Okay.
Human health.
All right, let's take Shegun. Hello, Shegun. Shegun, how are you?
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
Can you remind me again what is twice or thrice said?
Please, can you up your volume a little bit? Repeat. I didn't hear what you said. I didn't hear what the question.
Okay. Can you remind me again the name of the gentleman that survived COVID-19 twice or thrice?
Oh, no, Paulo Dybala.
Paulo
Dybala. He played for Juventus.
Okay. That guy is not a good role model for this period. It's not a good role model.
Why you don't know where he's going, where he's contacting him from? Maybe I don't know.
Let me make my point. Yes. He has survived thrice. That shows that he was careless.
Okay.
Nigerians shouldn't copy him.
Exactly.
He has been lucky to have survived.
Yeah.
I don't know the conditions under which he survived. I'm not sure that prevailing condition over there is what we have here in Nigeria. So every Nigerian should know he might not be as lucky as he is.
As Dybala.
I also hope that nobody in Nigeria is thinking of bringing back any sporting event right now. We cannot afford to bring back any sporting events right now.
Yeah.
Like I rightly said, every Nigerian should stay home as long as you don't have any business whatsoever going out.
Exactly.
COVID-19, we do not have a vaccine yet. If you play with your life here in Nigeria, sorry, you are gone. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shegun. Thank you very much. I mean, like you said, I mean, the guy tested positive 4 times in 6 weeks, my guy.
Absolutely. He has called for the cancellation of the MPFL.
Okay. All right.
So it's very right with respect to Dybala. You have to watch it 3-4 times now. You have tested negative, but the other side to it is that COVID-19 is not a death sentence.
I'm still with you because we are still on the timetable for the return because you were in Turkey. But the thing with Sweden, that Sweden says they want to start with fans. They recorded about 185 deaths in it. That was about 2 days ago in a day, and yet they want to start with their fans. My guy, how do you?
I think it's preposterous. Really.
I don't understand. They want to start with fans.
I don't know why. I wonder what their president and the political class is doing because they shouldn't allow the clubs or the IFA to make this kind of critical decisions. This thing is real, and people are dying because of this. And every safety measure should be put in place. If the football is coming back, it should be played on.
It is with all these decisions are made with government backing. Without government, that is the issue.
Sweden never totally locked down.
Exactly, because
they put a lot of precautionary measures in place. They are using face masks on time.
Yes.
So
they recorded 185 deaths in a day.
Few days ago.
That was on 48 hours ago.
It goes without saying that we have to all be responsible.
Okay.
At this time, same for FA, same for government. I know they took the decision with the backing of the government, and don't forget that all these dates, they have been reviewed. When I say the situation has been reviewed as they get closer to those dates. If there is a need for them to totally postpone or cancel, it would happen.
Okay, all right. We'll come back to Obun. Let us just take this so that we'll continue the same line. Let's go to the EPL, the EPL, because the EPL are saying, look, we are going to come back, but then the board is trying to flex some muscle and asking the club, like, because they want to experiment their own. In Germany, they can still play home and away matches, but in EPL, they're saying we want to play on neutral ground. But then, I mean, let's see the table because the 6 teams at the bottom from West Ham down. Okay, these are the top. These are the top. This is the top 6.
Liverpool is still top 6. Liverpool, Manchester United, City,
Chelsea, Manchester United, and Wolves. These are the top 6. These guys.
Why is Arsenal?
Please excuse me.
No, why are you asking? Why are you asking for Arsenal?
Why is Arsenal?
Manchester City, not United.
Right.
The second team there is City.
United is at number 5.
Number 5. If it end like this, we are playing in Europe. Manchester will play in Europe.
The 2 Manchester. Okay, let's these are the bottom 6, top 6. They have no problem. Let's look at the bottom 6 because that's where the issue. That's where the issue is. Okay, that is Brighton, West Ham, Watford, Bournemouth, Aston Villa, and Norwich City.
I think Norwich is doomed already. I think they are doomed.
But they said even if they are doomed, they want to play in their own stadium.
So,
guys, okay. I want us. Oh, no worry. Let us. They've been talking, but let us take the tweet from Watford. Let us see what Watford said. The chairman of Watford on this, because he's saying, look, the only way we can survive is for us to play because it's in our own turf. You understand?
At the start of this season, there was no way Watford should beat Liverpool. The club side at the Scott Duxbury set out Watford's position on Project Restart. At the start of this season, there was no way Watford should beat Liverpool. The club side are the world and European champions and play a style of football that is incredible to watch. They fully deserve to be crowned Premier League champions. However, this season finishes. But on February 29th, we did beat Liverpool. It seemed a long time ago now. But to even have a hope of overcoming one of the greatest sides this country has produced, we need a level playing field. We needed to play at Vicarage Road in front of our own fans with every single player mentally and physically in the best condition we could get them.
Okay. So
valid point you
yes,
would say, Ken.
Yes,
yes, because they feel.
I want to ask you a question on this. If they are playing on, if you bring all the top teams to play on the neutral ground, who should it favor?
It will not favor anybody.
What do you, if you favor the better side,
it will favor the better side. That's what we're talking about. Because you're playing under the same condition.
Under the same condition, but they have better players. But on your own, you know, sometimes in your places you don't water your pitch. Sometimes you want to play, they will not cut their grass. No. There are things that comes with home advantage. Yes.
The major thing that comes with home advantage are the fans.
Absolutely. No. Okay, no problem. Let's go to Imo. We have Ben on the line. Hello, Ben.
Yeah, hello. I'm not Ben. I'm Prince Kennedy.
Oh, you are Prince Ken. Okay, Prince Ken. But you will pay because they named you after me.
So how are you? You people are doing a great job. Now I'm doing something great, and this is my first time watching your program. Ben, you know.
Yeah.
If we're talking about sports all the time, it's good. You talk about football, it's good. Talk about tennis and long tennis is good. But there's a sport you guys are missing. Never talk about it in Nigeria.
Okay.
And this is a sport that can change the life of the youth in this country. Keep them off from street, you know. Keep them off from crime and make them useful to their families and also to Nigeria as a whole, you know. This is a sport they call powerlifting sports and bodybuilding sports. It's running all over the world, you know. This is a sport that many countries in the world, you know, use it to make their children useful, make them travel to many countries in the world and mix up with other youth and learn something good, you know. This sport is a sport that started years, you know, more than 100 years ago. But in Nigeria, we never talk about it. We're only talking about football. But forgetting that it's a sport that can change our youth, change our children to be useful to, even if they are medical doctors or engineers or lawyers, they can involve themselves in this sport, make them travel all over the world. And this sport of powerlifting, I tell you, I'm a footballer. I play very good football. But 1990, I keep up from football. I keep up from football and change to this sport. Today, this sport makes me travel all over the world. This sport makes me know a lot of people, talented stars in the world, in line of powerlifting and bodybuilding. My brother, I have gone far, and since I started it, Nigeria have never supported me. And single-handedly, I've been flying Nigerian flag all the days of my life in this sport since 1990, representing Nigeria in a World Powerlifting Championship and Bodybuilding Championship. At the time, the world body said, no, Prince Kennedy, you are doing well in this sport, very strong. Can we affiliate? Can your country affiliate? And I've played to many international bodies, world bodies in the world. And it makes me to move with some lifters, some youth that is close to me. I can easily lay hand on them, I take them in the street, and make them useful today. Most of them are now professionals, you know. If we're trying to have a world event, powerlifting or bodybuilding event, you see Nigerians coming from all over the world to come and compete. It's not easy, but I'm crying every day.
Ken, what you do for us is this. You please help us drop your number so that after this show we'll get back to you.
Please, Ken, we need to talk, please.
Yes.
I love channels. That's the time I remember a few years. Okay.
All right, don't just leave your number with us, with our guys. We'll collect your number and we'll speak with you after the show. Because when you talk about the bodybuilding, I just remembered Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know, I mean, and it is a lot of them went through that route to stardom, what is it? What is it? Our own is Nollywood. I mean, the other one is what? Hollywood. Okay, to Hollywood and stuff like that. So I think that it is great for us to look at it from that particular angle. So, gentlemen, before we go on this break. You do believe that yes, our sportsmen do have a future?
They do have a future if the administrators can come together and help them. These people are willing to go any length for their country. They need the support.
Without government, can the corporate body? I mean, what will bring the corporate bodies back? Government has too much. In fact, to buy vaccine and face mask is even a lot on their back.
We need to harmonize things. You need to get your house in order before these corporate bodies get involved. They can't just come and get involved in a house that is on fire. They need to get their acts right, and before these corporate bodies can get involved.
We have more than enough laws to run our football. If those administering it, that sport generally, it's those administering it that need to follow those rules. There are clear cut rules of a percentage of money that should be dedicated to sport, right from the local government level, from the state.
We've been promising. We've been promising.
To
the
federal
next
level.
week.
Then
we'll
again, our administrators have gone the way of instant benefit rather than delayed gratification. Nobody wants to involve himself to invest in any developmental program. They look at their tenure of 4 years. So what do I need to win something in these 4 years
to show that?
Why don't you just build the foundation for someone else to come and continue? Then they will now tell you, they come up with this argument. If I lay the foundation, another person comes, throws everything away, and we've seen that too. So there are a lot of issues that we need to address here. But like I said, our mindset needs to change. I don't necessarily have to be the governor that wins the cup. I can be the governor that builds the team.
Okay, because you know, sometimes we say some people deserve the accolade. Okay, we're going to a short break. When we come back, Channel Sport on Sunday continues. Stay with us. Okay, you're welcome back. This is still Channel Sport on Sunday, like we say it here. And then we are being joined by Emi Ajala. You're welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on the wet Sunday.
On the wet Sunday. Yeah. And then you had the CEO of Watford. The man is saying, let me play where my players understand the pitch, understand the grass. I mean, without that one, I wouldn't have beaten Liverpool. If they are putting on the track ground, there's no way I could have beaten Liverpool 3-0.
Yeah, I think I quite agree with Scott Dosby. And I started going to National Stadium before my first encounter in Onikon in the 80s. Yeah. And when I got to Onikon, I could not believe a stadium could be as small.
Exactly. That is the first impression you have.
Do you understand? Because the National Stadium was, when they say main bull, it was actually the main bull.
Yeah.
So, and at Onikon, you can talk to a player. Do you understand? Yes. After match, we go see you know those kind of things. And the kind of passes you want to throw in National Stadium, if you attempt in Onikon, your ball will go inside the marina, inside the cross marina. So take the Eagles. The Eagles were for a long time bad travelers, very bad travelers. But since we lost to the Algerians in 1981, and where we had to recall Chukwu Kosi of Ngobodo, of course,
yes.
Happy birthday to him. It was 80 years today. And since 81, we never, the national team was more like a slaughter slab for any team coming. But the Eagles will go and play any team in Africa. They will struggle. We lost, we could not go to Italian nights because of that loss in Libreville to Gabon. We'll go to Luanda, we'll play a draw. So we'll go to Lomé, we'll struggle. But everybody comes here, we'll beat them. So there is something about home advantage. And that's why someone like
Mourinho, of course. You're getting Klopp now. I mean, look at it. The last time Manchester United won the league, also they have 18 out of 19 matches at home, 18 wins and 1 draw. Man City, 18 wins and 1 draw. Even Mourinho, 18 wins. I mean, they just maximize home advantage.
He has a point when you play at home. Home is home. East or west, home is home.
Okay. All right, let's go to Wafi. We have our Wafi brother on the line. Hello, Uche. Uche, how are you?
Hello, my name is Uche. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Uche. Go on, we can hear you.
Hello.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Uche.
Uche calling from Warri, Delta State.
But kill the volume. We are hearing some echo. Kill the volume of your telly. Speak with your phone. Yeah.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah. Better. Go on.
I just want to confirm about that last list from EPL you people dropped. The last bottom list.
You want to confirm what?
Can you hear me?
Yes, go on. You say you want to confirm which league?
So I want to confirm because I saw Norwich City having 23 matches, having 6.
Okay, I think they've corrected it.
Whether it's real or whether it's a mistake, I don't know.
No, I think is this what you are talking about? I think they've corrected it.
No, they didn't correct it. If you check
yes.
They didn't correct it.
Oh, yes, thank you, Che. Yeah. Is that all?
No problem. Thank you very much.
All right.
Okay. Opinion will always be divided on the route to go to complete the EPL. While the chairman of Watford
and 6 of them,
yes,
the 6 team in the bottom.
while their concerns are valid.
Yes.
But you see, how do I put it? Difficult times. needs difficult decisions.
They are more difficult for those who are at the bottom.
So look at it this way. They also have a good chance of beating
away.
No, not away. The supposedly top teams, haven't they gone to places and lost? Haven't they lost at home in games? So you have to look for something that is fair enough for the 20 team. There will be no decision that will favor everybody.
I agree.
It is what it is. So there are financial obligations, but again, you see, for something that would determine the future of clubs, we're talking of a lot of money, a lot of passion. Let me. I know you are on this. I know you are on this. But let us look this way. I mean, the fans, you're going to have maybe 300 persons, both fans and players and every other person. So why take it away from there? If you want, why don't fumigate each of these? If it is whatever, why not fumigate the grounds? What is wrong with fumigating? What is the natural ground that more people will now use than the other one? So if you consider if you consider the argument for the neutral ground, they are considering a stadium like the Etihad Stadium. Etihad is at the outskirts of Manchester, not located in densely populated areas. They don't want people gathering outside the stadium.
They cannot cordon off. They cannot cordon off. They are going to put it. They are going to be in a hotel. They are going to be in a hotel. They will cordon it off.
They will quarantine those people,
the players,
in a city, the official in a particular place. You see, you cannot compare the rate at which this COVID-19 has ravaged England compared to Germany. Germany is still playing. They still plan to play home and away.
Yes.
So public health is paramount.
No, but you can't take away the home. See, the home advantage syndrome. South Africa happens to be the only World Cup host that never that existed at the group stage.
I think South Korea didn't progress. Korea, Japan.
Japan played. Tuesday led them to the second round.
That is Japan progressed, but Korea did not.
Played semi-final.
Korea played semi-final.
South Africa happens to be the only World Cup host that existed at the group stage. Home advantage count, and
no doubt about it.
So I wouldn't doubt these guys who have said, look,
they want to survive. They need to survive. So for goodness.
So which comes first? Survival of a football club or survival of a nation? No.
What I'm saying that the only that won't make Etihad safe is you are going to fumigate. They are still they are going to their bosses. The same boss that they will use from their hotel is the body they are going to. They are not going to work. So you keep everybody in your hotel, you train, and then you go and play your matches and you come back. Get it. Okay, we are in Lagos. Hello, Collins. Hello, Collins. Hello. You are in Lagos. We are hearing those from Warrior and Imo. What's happening? Hello. Okay. If we can't hear him, let him call back. Let him call back. So basically, those are what they're saying. This is how it is going to be. That is how they are going to take that. But let's take the 5 substitutes that IFAB just approved. FIFA proposed, and IFAB said yes, you can have 5 substitutes in a match, but then you can only use 3 opportunities. That means, in other words, you cannot be interrupting and 5 times in 90 minutes. That so. Okay, that is this. Where can you read that?
The temporary amendment comes into force with immediate effect and has been made as matches may be played in a condensed period in different weather conditions. Both of which will have impact on player welfare. The decision on whether to apply this temporary amendment will remain at the discretion of each individual competition organizer.
Yeah, that means it depends on the EPL to say whatever it is.
Why the IFAB and FIFA will determine at a later stage whether this temporary amendment would need to be extended further, e.g. for competition due to be completed in 2021.
So for now it is ending 2020. But these are those are the rules.
The amendment to Law 3 affect both the 2019-2020 and 2020-2021 laws of the game, with the latter coming into effect as on 1 June.
1st of June 2020. Okay,
in relation to competitions in which the video assistant referee VAR system is implemented, these competitions are permitted to cease its use upon restart at the discretion of each individual competition organizer. However, where VAR is used, all aspects of the laws of the game and by extension the VAR protocol will remain in place.
Okay, I thought we also have that on this, how the whole thing will, how it will pan out. You're going to make the summary of the whole thing.
So the summary of it is that they can now make 5 substitutions. However, you are still allowed to make those 5 substitutions 3 times.
Okay.
3 times. You can in regulation time. You cannot make one now.
Yeah, you can make 5 substitutions in 90 minutes.
In 90 minutes.
You can make 3 substitutions, but 5 players can come in.
Players can come in.
But if it is a cup team and then it's extra time, then you cannot have extra. Maybe you can do for the 4th.
Exactly.
You can do it. You can expand to 4.
You can expand.
You can
we should understand where the sentiment is coming from. Coaches, smart coaches, using substitution to kill off games.
To kill game.
And that's why FIFA came with that amendment that says you don't need to walk back and hug yourself and shake.
Exactly.
Leave at the nearest exit point.
Because they want to make substitution and then you go outside and then...
No, you are signal to the player to go to the extreme end of the pitch. So by the time it's walking off, so that's why the amendment was there in the first place. But I think this generation are even luckier because when you think of
when they say back pass, was still there. They would have a back pass, playing back and front, They give out back.
So the reason for this again is that the 2 months layoff from football, a lot of players are not match fit. And coming back into
fixture congestion.
And they might be prone to a lot of
injuries and they'll be exhausted.
And again, you see, let me quickly point to this. When I said these are difficult times, they are amending a rule in the middle of a season because of COVID-19. And that's why saying we should complete the night game in a particular stadium is not about disenfranchising anything.
We are looking at...
We are giving advantage to some people.
Is this giving advantage to some people?
This is free for everybody.
In a cup
playing in a neutral ground is not for everybody.
In a cup game,
that's a level playing ground.
It's not.
You don't both have your fans.
Yes.
The Champions League or whatever, the team that played the second leg as home, the team at an advantage position. So home, playing at home, he always gives you that edge.
The neutral ground is not home to anybody.
Yemi, like I said, he just talked about National Stadium and Onikon. There is this stadium in England, I think Luton. Their ground is so, it's like you can be touching players.
Yes,
you understand?
I understand the home advantage. I remember back then in Ibadan, they took Shooting Stars back to Liberty Stadium. It was a total mess.
Okay.
But Adama Singba, as small as it is, we knew.
So you understand.
But again, if the situation, you see,
the big clubs have the money to buy the best players. The smaller clubs have their stadium to utilize an advantage. Let me don't do whatever. Because if you say on the level playing field, at the beginning of the season, say every club should give 200 million to sign player.
Okay.
You have it. But not when you have you can sign. The other one cannot sign player of 10 million. That is their highest. Yakubu Ayegbeni was the costliest player signed by Everton. When they signed him, when he was signed from Middlesbrough, he was the costliest player. At how much then? That was even how much Roy Keane and Kobe in Manchester United. So, look at it.
For Rumble in the jungle, they say let's go to a neutral ground.
Yes.
The neutral ground became more than the home ground for Muhammad Ali.
They were all shouting, Ali, Boomaye. You understand? Ali, kill him. Ali, kill him. You understand? So, oh my God. Like you said, the controversy will always be there. But what they want to do and what they don't, whatever it is, everybody will complain. No decision will favor the entire everybody. But like I said, these ones, the big ones, should be able to, let us consider the younger ones so that, but they're flexing muscles. Remember the case of Scotland, where Dundee said they voted, and then it was Nigerian NFF or what is LMC saying the letter did not go to Eyimba, that their player has 5 yellow cards. That it is the other club that need to notify. I think that need to notify him, but that your opponent need to notify that your club has. Why didn't you tell them? Very ridiculous things. Yes.
I think I will have agreed to a certain extent with a neutral ground because when you think about the logistics,
you agree that one.
Ken, without the interstate lockdown, the NPFL cannot
also
function.
Okay. You and I were talking about, what should we do? Now we're almost home. What should we do to have a proper a foundation for a sport industry? Because one, it is like
for a career in sport.
Yes, because it's like we're going. Like I said, it was as if we're not there at all. We've been there. Mandela's Lions, we've been there. You go, but how come they all withdrew and we went there and said we are starting afresh?
Okay, I think I thought it was Yemi Obun that was saying it. These administrators we have now is I must take the glory now.
Okay.
The sport business is like a marathon. It's not something, it's not a sprint that you must get instant results. And that is why you see state poaching when it comes to sports festival. Because
so their governor, our sport-loving governor, to justify how much the governor has spent.
And because of that, we don't have the sport industry will have desired or what we have instead of sport industry we desired, what we have the sport industry we deserved because of what we are putting. Now, without the sport festival, athletes and sportsmen in Nigeria will go hungry. They always look up to the sport festival because that is the only thing
that they can have something. Okay, maybe we have a minute, let's go.
So I think we should focus and go back to the basics. If we really want to get it right, we can't keep having instant success and not instant gratification.
Okay.
We should also spare a thought for our NNL, in as much as we always talk about the NPFL. The NNL is still there in the doldrum.
Okay, we should spare our thought for the NNL. Coincidentally, I think they lost the CEO. We hope his soul rests in perfect peace. And then we hope to see you next week. Stay safe, stay alive, keep the distance. I'm Ken Ochonogo. Stay blessed.